Welcome back to the AFCON series. Today, I have a guest here who's an expert about Nigerian football, and Moroccan football. And we're going to talk about the women's AFCON today. Could you please introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's Soumia. I talk about football. I don't only talk about women's football, but I'm
Yeah.
highlighting WAFCON for now. So, yeah, let's get into it.
All right, no problem. What's your expectations for this as AFCON today, in general?
I think because this is the biggest tournament since ever. We've got
Mm-hmm.
16 teams right now. I'm expecting that, it might push us to be more on the international stage. A lot of these players actually play for top European clubs or the NWSL.
Okay.
And yeah, I just want to see how far we can go internationally, not just in Africa.
Okay, no problem. What do you think about the situation with Channel 4 and the other broadcasts abroad not showing the AFCON, especially like Zigo as well?
I think, if I'm not wrong, I think it's CAF's actually disorganization, which I'm not really surprised because they have done this with men's AFCON as well. I
Mhm.
believe actually just this past year in 2025 was the first time that men's AFCON was being broadcasted to Channel 4 or UK Broadcasting. It wasn't, I remember I would have to go online and just find some random site
Oh,
to watch men's
seriously?
AFCON. Yeah, I think this was the first time that they broadcasted.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's a bit disappointing. I'm not
Yeah.
really sure where the lines got crossed. I think there was some sort of miscommunication or disorganization, but it's a bit disappointing because these are professional athletes. Some even play for example, England's Women's Super League. So it's a bit disappointing for, I think, from the athletes' perspective to
Yeah.
not be showcased representing their country, which is a big, huge honor. But yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that because I was quite shocked on Sunday as well when they didn't show the game and had to search everywhere, and I found it on YouTube at some random website as well.
Yeah, I
So,
went on X and it was really everybody was like, where can we watch it? So I
but
have to
you
watch it
know
more.
the games afterwards because I just watched only the highlights. Did I show it on Channel 4? They didn't.
No, so basically that's been debunked. I
Okay.
think that Channel 4 there wasn't a communication. I do think that CAF gave them the broadcasting rights,
Okay.
but I don't think they communicated that it would be for women's AFCON as well. So they gave it to men's AFCON, but I don't think it was communicated about women's AFCON. Um, but yeah, so in highlight of that, CAF did end up removing the geo lock from
Okay.
their stream, so we can watch it from the UK. We can watch CAF streaming the games online now on YouTube.
No
Not the
problem.
best of quality, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah, when I saw it on Sunday, it wasn't the best, but I still enjoyed what I saw from the Nigeria team. When was the first time that you got in touch with women's AFCON, like really and truly? Because for me, it's the first time actually getting to watch.
Actually, this is my first time actually really getting deep into it. I did
Okay.
watch some highlights last WAFCON,
Hmm.
but mainly Algeria highlights, not really any other teams. And I do know about Rashida, so
Okay.
from Nigeria.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I didn't really do any deep dive or research up until a few weeks before the tournament.
Okay. No problem. And you're Algerian, right? Or you're half?
Yes, I'm half Algerian,
And what's the other half?
half Brazilian.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's a mix.
Mm.
And so for the Algeria team, obviously you guys won 2-0 against Senegal. What's your expectations?
I think because we did really well last WAFCON, we reached the quarterfinals for the first time. I
Hmm.
think our aim for this WAFCON is to at least get qualified for the Women's World Cup, and I definitely think we have the ability to do that. Our defense is really, really good,
Yeah.
but our attack needs some work. We have some new debuts for our team, like seven new debutants for the
Okay.
team. So I believe that they'll definitely bring some value to the attacking side of things. But yeah, I'm hoping that for the very least that we can get qualified for the Women's World Cup.
That's good. I think a lot of the players got a French background as well at
Yes,
that
a
team.
lot of them are born in France or have French background, have played in France, um, which is something that the manager
Yeah.
he Farid bin Stiti, he basically presented a footballing project for these players so that
Okay.
they can be attracted to play for their national team. So yeah, and I can see that there is a large improvement from the previous WAFCONs up until now.
Okay. And then how is Algerian how's the Algerian football team seen in Algeria? I don't know if you know about it more in terms of like
I'll be honest, I don't really pay attention to Algerian football within the leaguing system,
okay.
their own league, their inner
Yeah.
league. I don't. I
I
do know
mean
that.
I mean just the national team, like for example, like the Algerian fans how or Algerian people, how do they see the national team?
Oh, Algeria. You know what the thing is with Algeria? I do think that a lot of them don't really know about the
Mhm.
women's team, but because I'll give credit to the women's Algeria team, the social media team. They're
Mhm.
really trying to push forward our players, and they have a really good social media presence. Like they've uploaded
Yeah.
really amazing videos, and like the quality of their social media presence is good, which I believe has attracted a lot of people to watch. And the thing is about Algerian people regardless of whether they watch a sport or not, if they know that an Algerian is representing their country in something that big, they will support them and like really want to be there to showcase their country because we've got a lot of national pride. This was the same with this is not football, but this was the same with Iman Khalif. People didn't really hear about her until she started with the Olympics as a
Yeah.
boxer, and she
Okay.
received great national coverage after that. So yeah, I would say with Algerian people, as long as you're just representing your country in sport, they will just support you regardless.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So it's basically like same as Ghana, where I'm from. It's quite supportive as well. I think. And what do you think about, you see, for example, like we had the World Cup and the AFCON, where a lot of people done like watch parties, watch events, where people actually can sit down and connect and watch football together. What do you think about doing it for the women's AFCON? Obviously, I know it's quite hard to do it, but what do you think?
Yeah, so I've done a few of the watch parties for
Mhm.
the World Cup, women's only, and I am planning to do for the World Cup. No, sorry, I am planning to do for WAFCON,
Yeah.
but I have some summer plans, so I'm not really sure if I can work it around my schedule.
Okay.
But I'm hoping to at least do some big games like quarterfinals, semifinals,
Yeah.
finals. But yeah, it
Because
is very like yeah,
I saw on your page you done it only for females only as well. I
yeah,
think that's what I saw
yes.
on your page.
Yeah, I did it for women's only, and a lot of people ended up turning up. So, hopefully, by promoting it on my social
Mhm.
media, hopefully, I might actually gain some traction because you also need some traction for people to want to watch it as well.
Of course.
So, I'd have to see how that works out.
Of course, of course. What would you say, which player to watch out for this AFCON? WAFCON.
Oh, okay. I believe Barbara Banda is
Yeah.
one player to look out for. She plays for Zambia.
Yeah.
Amazing elite player. She's amazing to watch. I believe she's actually the top goal scorer, if I'm not wrong. At least,
Yeah, she is actually,
yeah.
because I've done a video yesterday about her and I watched her videos. She's amazing. I didn't expect women football to be that good, but what I saw yesterday, it's amazing.
She is superb. I think she's playing today. Well, Zambia is playing today.
Mhm.
So it'll be interesting to watch. But yeah, she's definitely one to look out for. On She's just an elite player, like
Yeah.
amazing.
Do you have any player for Algeria?
For Algeria, I really want to see how Melissa Bethi
Yeah.
develops into the team. She's quite young, she's 20 years old. She recently just signed for Washington Spirit for like a club in NWSL.
Yeah.
So she's one to look out for. She used to play for Lyon in France,
Okay.
and she's like a forward attacking midfielder. So she actually won player of the match in our match against Senegal. So
Okay.
she's definitely one to look out for Algeria.
Okay. Okay. Because I had in my mind, I done a video about Enis Boutaleb, who plays in France as
Yes,
well. And obviously, what saw for my research, I got told she's the biggest star for the Nigerian team, but obviously I'm not too sure about that.
there's also Ines Belumo. She plays
Okay.
for West Ham.
Yeah.
She's really good as well, but she's a defender, but she's really good as well. And Marine Dafour.
Okay.
He plays for Bristol City, and she's really good as well.
Oh, I need to check her out. I need to check her out,
Yeah.
definitely. And what would you say? How do you think about obviously I've done a few videos about talking about AFCON, and I saw a few comments from a lot of men, but as well women saying, "Oh, it's boring. You should not watch women football." This. What do you think about comments like this?
I think it's actually disappointing because I don't think, nobody's saying that women's football should be on parity with men's football. We're not saying like it should be considered its own version of the sport rather than comparing, oh, this is how men play and this is how women play, because obviously it's like, for example, when we watch tennis, we're not going to say, oh, I'm only going to watch men's tennis and not women's tennis. It's just a different kind of or style of play or how they play. Um, but yeah, it's just these players, they're professional athletes. They play for the
Yeah,
Olympics. They play for the national teams. They play for big clubs. Not that it should matter anyway, but I think we're with women's football, it's on the rise.
mm,
We've seen how much marketing and promotion European football has done for women's football,
yeah.
and it's actually increased like a lot of viewership. A lot of people attend the games. I would say I'm an Arsenal fan, and I would say Arsenal is one of those. Well, Arsenal is one of those teams that have actually made women's football up there. Like they really promote the
You
Arsenal
can't
women's
you
team,
can't say that Arsenal. Oh, I'm obviously I support the best club in London, so
which is.
Chelsea.
Okay. No comment.
Yeah, but okay, no, I hear that. I hear your point. I hear your point because obviously, even when I saw the comments, I was quite shocked, like the way people was hating on women's football like that. But I feel like it's as well. You see, you have women's football in Europe, and then you have women's football in Africa, and I feel
Mm.
like it gets way more hate.
Definitely. And I think people are not seeing the disparity, like the gap. It's very similar to how people used to speak about men's AFCON,
Exactly.
men's Euros. For a long time, people said, oh, I don't really want to watch AFCON. Like, I'm not talking about the Africans ourselves,
Yeah.
but because we were interested. But in terms of internationally, nobody wanted to broadcast it. Nobody spoke about it in the news. It would get very, very little coverage. They basically assumed that our players are not good players or
Yeah.
not elite players. And now you can see that the gap between European national teams and African national teams is getting very thin, the gap between them. So we should we should have that same thought process when it comes to women's football, women's African football, because the gap is getting is closing. So
Yeah.
we should have that same respect and that same drive to want African women's football to be on the same wavelength as European women's football.
No, 100%, 100%. I agree with that. But it's just, I feel like as well, it's like sometimes us Africans as well, we not make it good for ourselves as well. Because I see
Yeah,
a lot of people saying, oh, Africans, especially women's AFCON, oh, the players are not good anyways. No one's gonna watch the game, so. And I'm really thinking, obviously for me, it's my first time actually tapping into WAFCON. And what I've seen so far is they're just trying to get a chance to be shown,
mm.
especially like
Yeah,
on social media and everything. And I feel like it's quite good that a narrative are talking about women's AFCON right now. And I
yeah.
feel like as well, it's just like that we need to support each other in everything we can do.
Exactly. And when we support each other and we put each other on the stage, it helps improve or want the players to actually move forward and
Yeah,
make that career choice. There's a lot of opportunities that come from playing for your national team.
yeah, exactly. What do you think about the price situation?
What do you mean in terms of the price
In ter-
tickets of the?
yeah, the tickets, yeah.
I'm not even, I'm actually not mad about it because
Yeah.
I know even for women's European football, tickets are not extremely expensive as well.
Yeah.
I think it is an incentive to make
Mhm.
people come to watch. The issue for me was that they only released tickets a few weeks before the matches actually start. I mean, for example, with the Women's World Cup, which is next year in 27,
Mhm.
I already have family friends and family members who are buying tickets now,
Oh
and
wow.
it's just next year. So they've already because they live there, they're able to get the tickets a bit like a
Yeah,
pre early. So if you're not releasing tickets early and you haven't promoted the tournament on time, they've only announced the tournament publicly, I think 2 or 3 weeks prior to the tournament actually starting, despite the tournament actually being postponed 12 days before
yeah,
the initial start date. These things they actually contribute to people not wanting to come or being able to come. I would love to go, but if I'm only told like 2 weeks before, people have got work, they've got things to do.
yeah, of course.
Um, but yeah, it's a bit disappointing, but I'm not really surprised by CAF's disorganization.
I saw a lot of discussion was as well that I think Morocco is hosting the AFCON for the third time.
Yeah.
And Morocco, what do you think about that? Because obviously there's a lot of things happening, because of the Senegal stuff and so. What do you think?
Yeah, I think to be fair, I'm not really mad about it because I believe even Nigeria hosted 3 times as well. So this
Okay.
is not the first time that a nation has hosted multiple times. It's unfortunate that some nations in within Africa don't actually put themselves forward to host
Yeah,
or bid themselves to host. That's a separate issue. I think as long as a country is willing to host for women's AFCON. It doesn't really matter which country it is. I do think there should be other countries that should be more willing to host as well. So that's something that we can talk about as well. But yeah, I do think, definitely because of this is their third time hosting, Morocco definitely wants to win. Um,
yeah, definitely.
they definitely want to
Because
get
I was,
that.
eh, funny enough, I was actually at the final when Senegal was playing against Morocco.
Oh wow, okay.
And in terms of like stadium setup and organization, I have to say they're very good. I have
Mm,
to give them that. But obviously, what I saw at the final was just a bit crazy.
yeah,
And I feel like as Africans, I feel like we don't give uh, us a chance to, how you say it, to bet to be part of the organization of the Women's AFCON,
yeah,
and host stadiums as well. Because I feel like how you said, like a lot of African countries are not really developed like that as well. Like when I went to Morocco, it was so developed, it was amazing. Even like in my country, they could do it, but it's just like I don't know, they might be too lazy to do it.
That's the thing. I think, for example, even within men's AFCON,
Yeah,
there is no investment within the federations of different countries within Africa.
exactly.
There's no investment with the teams themselves. Within the men's team, there's no investment within the pitches in their home soil. There's a lot of issues when it comes to actually organizing to put investment and promotion within their national teams. Which is disappointing for everyone. So let alone for women's AFCON or women's national teams, they're probably like the last of the bucket. They don't really want to pay attention to them. If they're not even treating the men's team as they
Like that.
should,
Yeah.
professional level, it's it's going to be like a huge disparity between the women's team.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's disappointing, but
Do you think do you think Algeria could host it? I don't know
I
how
definitely
Algeria
think
is set up, but
I
yeah.
definitely think Algeria could. We have our own issues within the federation, definitely.
Okay.
I do think we have some developmental problems when it comes to stadiums and, you know, organizing with the
Mhm.
stadiums. We have a bit of issues within the clubs themselves. So like there's a
Okay.
lot of issues within internally. That's something that the Algerian Federation needs to sort out before we can host. But I definitely think we have the ability to, and we are starting to really, invest a lot more in our national team, especially the women's team as well. So I do think it's a possibility, and I'm hoping that we can do it in the future.
How's it with you with timing right now? Because you said you're at
Um,
work.
I've got I've got 10 minutes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. If you could change something, if you would be the person who owns like CAF, what would you change?
Oh, I would definitely, need to put I definitely would if I was somebody who was part of CAF's social media team or marketing team, I'll definitely invest a lot more in the marketing, a lot more into the social media campaign, a lot more into connecting with different journalists and international news outlets to push into push forward CAF as an organization, but also for the women's national team,
Mhm.
women's AFCON, because I do believe that, lack of promotion. I know people say, "Oh, I don't. Nobody cares about women's football. They don't want to watch." But if you look at how Europe has developed their football within women's
Yeah,
football.
of course.
Like 10, 20 years ago, people were not probably coming to the stadium. They were not watching or that invested into women's football. But we have seen such a big shift and a lot more people go to watch. The stadiums are a lot more full. A lot of people want to even watch the clubs, not just for the national team. So I do think that it's a possibility. It's not like really far out of reach. It's something that you can make happen. But the way you have to do it is you have to market it, you have to promote it. It will take some work, it will take some years, it will take some investment, but that's something that we should do and not try to compare it to men's football because
Mhm.
men's football is its own, sport.
Yeah.
Just as women's football has its own sport, they should basically just promote it as its own thing. That's
Mhm.
something should some people should be interested in rather than only women being interested in it.
Yeah.
Everyone should be interested in it.
That's good. That's a good call. That's a good call. What would you say is what would you sorry, I had a question in my mind, but wait. What would you say is one thing that needs to be set up new at the Women's AFCON that hasn't been set up yet?
One thing that should be set up that hasn't been set
Yeah.
up.
So for example, like obviously, um at the World Cup you had the water breaks and everything. Do you think something like
Oh,
yeah.
I don't agree with hydration breaks, to be fair.
No?
I
Why?
don't like hydration breaks. I do think it cuts up the game.
Yeah.
Um, and to be honest, it was mainly for ads for
Okay.
For the World Cup. I do see it being introduced into maybe a bit larger tournaments. Maybe the future World Cup might introduce it. I'm not really sure. I think in terms of the women's games, I do think there should be a lot more press and interviews.
Mm,
Because actually, I'm following some journalists who are trying to interview these players and everything, but there are very, very few, and it was actually even difficult for them to enter Morocco to do
yeah.
those kind of interviews and get approved for that in the first place, which is a problem in and of itself. A lot of these journalists are even doing it for free. They're
Yeah.
not getting paid for that. They just want to do coverage because they are journalists. So stuff like post-match interviews, there should be a
Mm,
lot more press, but it actually has to be advertised, has to be shown, and easily accessible. The issue right now is that we don't have easy access. Also, in my view, I believe for women's football, I think the stadium should be a lot smaller. I don't think it's fair for athletes who already don't have a lot of fans to play in such a large stadium space, and it looks like nobody's watching. They do have some people who are there,
because
they do have some fans,
on Sunday
but
it was a bit like where's everyone? But then I saw a little bit
you
of a
can
crowd.
see the fans. But obviously, in such a large stadium like that, I don't think you would be able to point them out easily.
Yeah, of
Um,
course.
with Morocco, when they played, you could see a lot more fans,
Yeah, yeah,
but
of
they're on
course.
home soil as well.
Yeah,
So I do think like maybe putting some incentives for people to come, having people giving out volunteering opportunities just like they do for the World Cup. There
yeah,
should be volunteering opportunities for women's AFCON to encourage you know anybody to come and support and be part of women's AFCON. That's something that they could introduce. But yeah,
yeah. What do you think about Nigeria getting
I
the
think
11? Or
you know what.
sorry, no, go on.
No, Nigeria is a powerhouse
Yeah,
national team. They won it 10 times.
yeah,
That's not something to be overlooked. I do think that if I'm not wrong, I read that they didn't do a lot of training with each other prior
yeah.
to this
That's
WAFCON.
true.
I think they only played two friendlies as well. So I don't know
Mm,
if that might affect the way that they play or how they will move into this tournament, but they're not a team that you should overlook at all. They're amazing to play
Yeah.
against, and they're really, really good national team. Yeah, there's other than that, like they're a power horse. They've really, Nigeria, they've invested a lot in the team and
Yeah.
they invest a lot in their women's team players, which is something that everyone else should be look up
Yeah.
to and do the
Yeah, I
same.
was quite shocked when I saw this 10 stars um on their thing. I was quite shocked, you know. I was
Yeah.
quite shocked. But apart of that, what would you say would be who will be the dark horse for you?
For me, the dark horse, I think is Zambia. I think
Zambia?
Zambia is a dark horse. Yes, they have amazing players. Barbara
Mhm.
Banda, they have Rachel as well, Kundaji, I think is her
Okay.
name. Um, they are, they're hungry for this tournament as well. I
Mhm.
do think they are a dark horse. Um, and I think that they will do really well. Tanzania maybe as well, but even though they played really well with South Africa, I'm not fully convinced that
No?
they are,
What I
no.
saw from the highlights was quite good, you know? Like
They played
especially
really
like
well, but
South
I think it was more on South Africa's for I think it was more on South Africa's part
Africa.
of like they have fell back rather than
Oh,
Tanzania being really as much forward, if that makes sense. Because South Africa team, they've not invested in the team as much anymore. Um a lot of their players are quite old as well.
yeah.
They have a lot of older players who are amazing players, don't get me wrong, but they've not invested in their youth. So that's something that we shall see. I do think that they're going to really struggle in this tournament if they don't win against Côte d'Ivoire. So
Yeah. And
yeah,
they're 1-1 Cote d'Ivoire as well.
yes,
Yeah, they're 1-1. There's another team. I think it's their first time playing at the women's of WAFCON. It's Cape Verde.
Cape Verde, yes.
Yeah.
Cape Verde, I'm excited to see how they play. I think their first international tournament was in 2018, so they haven't actually played a lot of international tournaments or international games. So they're still very fresh on the pitch, which will be very interesting to see.
I just saw they lost 5-0. Like I think the last game they lost 5-0 against Morocco.
Yeah.
But I
I
think
think
it's
was it
still
Algeria or Morocco? I'm not sure.
I
I
think
know
it's
that
Morocco, huh?
mm,
Or did
I
you
know
play
that
against them as well?
yeah, I do think we played against them as well, but I need to look that up properly. Um, Malawi is looking really good as well.
Yeah, I don't
It's
know
their
anything about
debut.
them. Are
Yeah,
they?
it's their first time playing just like Cape Verde,
Yeah.
but they actually have two sisters on the team.
Okay.
Um, I think it's Temwa and Tabitha,
Okay.
and they play. If I'm not wrong, I think they play for the women's national soccer league in
Okay.
America.
Okay.
So one of them plays for Kansas City. Anyway, they're really look they. I think that they are going to be a slight dark horse in a way as well as a debut,
Oh,
similar to Cape Verde,
yeah.
but we shall see.
Because they're playing against Nigeria today at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can actually only say anything until I actually watch them.
Yeah.
So yeah,
No, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. That would be. I think we're done with time because obviously you have to go
yeah,
back.
yeah.
Do you have anything to say? Last words?
Yeah, I think this is an exciting WAFCON. I'm happy to cover it, showcase our girls and promote this tournament just as much as we should have done, or like we have done with the men's AFCON. And like now we are recognized on the world stage as a serious tournament.
Yeah.
So I want to do the same for our girls. They worked really hard to get here
Yeah.
and they deserve to be celebrated just as much as the men as well. So yeah.
Well, no problem. Thank you very much, Tafi, on here. And yeah, in terms of social media and everything, I will put your social media in the
Thank you.
description. And yeah, guys, follow her on TikTok, Instagram. Do you have any other social medias?
No, that's it.
That's it.
All right,
If
then.
you want
Thank
to know
you.
more about Nigerian football, that's it.
All right, then. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
No worries. Bye.
Bye.